All right, it's been almost 2 weeks since surgery, and I am just lounging in my bed because I haven't been able to lay down in 6 months. The most I was able to sleep at a time was 4 hours, and that's if I was taking a high dose of gabapentin and also drinking and also weed. Without any of those things, I was at like an hour and a half. So basically, laying down has been impossible. Naps have been gone from my life, and sleep was hell. I hated trying to go to sleep. So here I am luxuriating post op. Am I doing well? You bet your ass I am. I'm easily tired more than anything else. So I would wake up in a lot of pain pre op. I would wake up in a ton of pain and have to go on a walk immediately. Like this was an instant pain level of like 8 as soon as I stood up. And yeah, I found myself on my morning walks like realizing that I didn't even know how cold it was outside because I couldn't feel the temperature. Like, or I'd feel a slight sense of like I need to go to the bathroom because you need to go to the bathroom first thing in the morning, and then I'd get up out of bed because it would hurt, and then the moment I stood up, it would hurt even more, and it was like, yeah, that's gone. I'd have to walk a mile before I get that sense back. So like I've been in a really compromised place, and now I'm just laying down and I go on my walks and I get winded kind of easy. And not like in my lungs or anything like that. I'm just like walking around and my muscles feel good, but I think it's just overall body is just like my body is like, you need to rest. And there's like a Goldilocks zone of you need to engage your core and you need to activate your muscles, but you also need to give your body time to heal. And like that's why they say small walks. So I'm trying to do that. I have alerts set in my phone. It is a rainy day today, so I'm just going easy on myself. I'll get up and do some chores and stuff. Try not to bend and things, but yeah. So 2 weeks post op. God, there's a lot to process. Much of my life has just been impossible, and now it's so possible. And like, you need surgery, and this is how I knew I needed surgery when the thought of a surgical recovery sounds far better than whatever it is you're going through. And boy, this is like, I have so many more hours of time. Just time is here again, and the ability to lay down and think and move. There's basically like, there's so much I can do, and what do I want to do? I don't know. I'm just sort of chasing that moment by moment. Like my shower was dirty as fuck because I haven't been able to clean it. And should I be cleaning stuff intensely right now? Fuck no. But I can do some basic stuff. So what I did is I got a very cheap toilet cleaner at the store, like one those brushes on a stick, because I can't bend. And I'm like, well, you know what? You can get a scrubby on a stick. I know, I seen it. And I used that to not bend while I cleaned my shower, and I feel so much better. And I got little fairy lights hanging above my shower too, because I'm extra like that. But they were out of batteries, and just the ability to put batteries in that again. I just put away some dishes the other day without thinking about it. Walking upstairs it just doesn't take effort. And I just realized death by a thousand cuts in so many small ways that I wasn't even registering. Life was so hard. And just sort of in awe of that. And I also just like looked at a to-do list that I made about I think maybe a week before my surgery, where it was like the to-do list was started the instead of starting in the morning, it was like starting the night before, because the night before determined the morning because of having to wake up and move immediately. So like my to-do list started out my old to-do list from the before surgery times was like, do not go to bed before 2 a.m. Force yourself to stay up. Um, get up and, do a couple things, do a shot of whiskey, take the gabapentin. Like, are you supposed to mix those things? No, but like, fuck, I needed to be able to work, and the whiskey made it so I could, which isn't how normally how people think of whiskey. They think of it as having fun times or, not being able to think. But that's how bad my pain was, is I needed something to push it away even more. Uh, so that I could do my programming. And that was like whiskey before lunch, weed for lunch, and more whiskey after lunch. And this is all part of this is woven into my to-do list of like how to fucking live and how to get by. And I'm looking at it now and I'm like, huh. Like, frankly, my body doesn't even want to drink. That's been surprising. Like, whiskey is one of my favorite things, and drinking makes me feel awful right now. And is it psychological? Is it physiological? I don't fucking know, and I don't care. I really want to respect this intuition that I'm experiencing. I don't want any. I don't want to not be here. I don't want to get high and not be here. I don't want to get drunk and not be entirely in the moment. I am finding it hard to like engage in online spaces, even though I usually live on Discord. I've had to like really pull back because I don't want to not be here because I've had to be gone so fucking much. Um, yeah, like my body is like, hold the fuck up, sobriety, and also just living in the moment and enjoying laying on my bed and listening to the rain and cuddling with my cat. That's what I was just doing. So that's what living my best is like. I had some coworkers who were, who know I can't come back into work until I get some paperwork filed, and that's been a problem. And I have to wait on people who aren't me to get that all lined up before I can go back to work, and that's fine. And they're like, live your best, go out and do things. And I think that, like, for normies, that's what living your best is getting out. But, like, for me, I was always moving before my surgery because I couldn't lay down to take a nap to escape. I couldn't sit down. Any of that hurt a ton. It hurt within moments. So I was just like, I'd get up and I'd walk 3+ miles in the morning. I would pace my apartment. I would walk extra in the afternoon. I'd go out and do things with friends, usually at bars. And like, my best right now is being cozy and still going on walks, but being cozy and being here. It's taken a while to even just record a video, even though I've been meaning to. I like uploading these because I think it's good to, I don't know, I guess contribute to the contribute to a search result from people who are catastrophizing. Oh, now I need to get surgery. What's it like? I'm like, okay, let me give you some perspective. This is what it's like. And this is very, like, this is different than the first time I had to have this surgery. I had to have L5-S1 operated on 3 years ago, but I was able to escape the pain by laying down. I was able to sleep, even though it wasn't great. Like, I was able to get, like, I wasn't as trapped last time, and I really was trapped this time in a way that is profound, and it feels like I've survived something. Like, I have been surviving on a very deep level. And there's a lot of psychological shit to feel from that and to sit with and to take time. There's the physical recovery, and there's also the psychological. And also, I was on such a high prescription of gabapentin that I'm going through withdrawals. So there's that too. I may as well mention that. I started waking up in cold sweats like 3-ish days after surgery. I'd stopped taking the gabapentin just because I'm like, well, I don't have those neurological things that I need to block anymore. The surgery's done. Probably not smart, but that's what I did. And 3-ish days after surgery, I started waking up and just like feeling so fucking cold but covered in sweat. And I've never had this in my life. And just like drenching the whole fucking bed. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. And I hate being cold. And I hate being wet. Ugh. Gross. I'm a slug. Ugh. Still better than pre-op. Still a million times better than that pain. It's annoying by comparison, but it is, I believe, a symptom of coming off of gabapentin or any of the combination of those substances I was highly dosing before. Who can fucking say? But my body is reeling, and it's getting better. But I mean, we're 2+ weeks out, and I woke up again this morning. I've just started sleeping on a towel and with a towel, and with the understanding that I might need to just rip all my clothes off, towel off in bed, and roll to the other side of the bed. That's been a good strategy for me. But Yeah, I also had a lot of like mood stuff go crazy. So the mood at about the same timeline as the cold sweats. I think it's normal to have topsy-turvy feelings with surgery, but this was more. This was something extra. So, yeah, but I mean, I'm managing it and I'm communicating that this is where I'm at. I'm talking to people and making sure that things don't get so bad. I thought about going up back on the gabapentin to do a proper taper, but I was like, I think I realized it really at day 5 because the symptoms started at day 3, and then I was like, okay, something's going on. And by day 5, I was like, this is probably the gabapentin. And I was like, well, do I want to go back on something I don't need to taper off properly? And I'm like, I'm on day 5. Let's just, as long as things don't get worse. And they didn't. They just persisted. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just be a slug for a while. I traded being a pain baby for being a human slug. Fine. It's fine. We're fine. Anyway, so yeah, I'm doing well. And everything is just a lot better. And looking back on pre-op, it's scary. Like I'm more scared about where I was before surgery than I could possibly have comprehended before surgery. I had no objectivity. I was lost in it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, yeah, it is bad. It's really bad. So yeah, I do think I might make a shorter video. I think I will just to chase this one because this is long, this is rambly, this is like my life. But I want to make a little video about what I did to prepare for surgery, um, well in advance, and how that's really worked out well for me. Because I've had this surgery twice, and I'm rebounding from this one way better, and it's because of the work I did. I forced myself to do it, but yeah, and I'll just say it since I'm mentioning it, but I'll make a shorter video for more easy to digest content. But yeah, I went on my walks out of duress, as I already described. I had to start walking. It was like a level 8, and I knew the only way out of that pain, the only way, was to walk through it. And by walking 3 miles, at least 3 miles every morning, it helped me get um, through the pain. That the pain usually only lasted the first mile, the worst of it anyway, and then it would drop down to like a 6, a 5 or a 6, and I'd keep walking. And by continuing to walk the rest of that distance, it made it so that for a good portion of the day, I had much lower pain. It sort of locked it in place. So that's why I walked as far as I did. But I didn't just walk. I walked extremely deliberately, heel toe, making sure that my legs were moving as they ought to back and forth. Sometimes your leg can circle around. You can start to move your leg in strange ways that you don't notice because you're subconsciously trying to avoid kinds of pain. And it's deeply important that you look at your biomechanics and like watch yourself walk and make sure that you are doing heel toe, and that your knee is gliding along a line that makes sense, that is similar to your hopefully unaffected leg. I noticed early on that my left leg was doing that circle motion. I would bring my leg forward and around instead of my leg going back and forth while I was walking. It would go walk, and like I got on that real early because the longer you do that, the harder it is to break it. And I knew that because I've been to physical therapy a lot and I've done this before. Something else I did on my walks is I would really try and focus on my core and being able to tighten my core muscles. And when I say core, I mean imagine that there is a corset around your midsection, around your tummy. Imagine there is a corset around all the way around you, and that tightening. That's what I mean by core, not like six pack abs shit. Really deep muscles and coordinating those together and being able to tighten those while walking. That does a lot. The last time I had the surgery, I wasn't able to tighten my core really in a coordinated fashion post op until a few weeks, if memory serves. Um, I was able to do it the next day. Um, and I wouldn't say for like a sustained, a long sustained amount of time, but I was still able to do it while I walked like down the street and back and was able to do it the next day. And I think it's because I built that up in advance and I had built up the awareness of how to activate it because it's hard if you haven't done it. It's hard. And if you're if you're coming out of surgery, learning to do a thing while also recovering from what is essentially physical trauma, um, surgery is traumatic. It's a lot. So if it's possible to build that up before surgery, do it. Do it. Walk around, like try and walk while doing it, and it helps support your back. Um, Something about this brace. Oh, it's back here. I'm not wearing the brace because I'm laying down in bed. But something about the brace that I know that I do is that I can use the brace to really make up for that core muscles. Like even now, even though I've built up my core strength and I can activate it, it's kind of easier to just lean on the brace a bit and to just like tighten it up real tight. And I'm actually trying not to do that too much with this guy. If I feel tired, I will. But if I don't feel tired, I'll keep that brace on. It's secure, it's snug, but it's not tight. And I do that because I like the brace to help remind me not to bend and twist and to support me in very basic ways, but not fundamental ways. I don't want to lose the ability to support my own core because that's like the number one way to protect your back, actually. So, like, the brace is good, but I don't want to rely too much on it because I know that I could. It would be an easy mistake to make, and I think I did that for a little while anyway. My last go around, I relied on the brace a lot. Um, Always wear it, but whether or not it's fundamentally supporting you, you'll have to be your best judge with that. Um, I'm trying to be responsible with it. Yeah. Anyway, long enough video, but laying down is bougie as fuck. Um, and I do have a walk that I have to go make. I think going on small walks is different than a big long walk. I've got to rethink about where I want to walk. I want it to feel like an adventure because if I got to walk three times a day, I don't want it to just be a chore. I want it to be an adventure. And my long walks, even though they were painful, they turned into adventures. I really did enjoy them by the time I was heading at like past the halfway point on those old walks. And so, how do I get that feeling with smaller walks that are closer to home? I think I'm gonna walk to the Goodwill and look for some bullshit. Spend a couple dollars. It might not be the best. That may not be the best solution, but it is a solution for today, and it feels like an adventure for today. We'll see what we'll see what I figure out. Hopefully, I get a little bouquet of places nearby that I enjoy going on very limited walks too, because it's more about the consistency now, and that's a different game. That's a different game. Being able to have the discipline to go out 3 times. It's a bit, especially especially on a rainy day. But the rain let up, so I guess it's time to go. Time to go look for another old man sweater or something at Goodwill. Anyway, that's all I got to say for now.